In our societies, it is frowned upon to talk about money. Money is seen as a taboo. So we'd rather not talk about it and pretend everything's okay, but while you know things are falling apart. Generations ahead of us are already deprived because of our lacking of understanding of how to create sustainable wealth and pass it on to the next generation. You cannot fetch water in a leaky bucket, because no matter how much water you put in there, it's going to leak out. We don't measure the ultimate end of our lives with the current circumstances that we're facing. A lot of wealthy people spend a lot of their money on personal development. You just have to take a deep breath, recalibrate your energy, and keep moving forward. It's not about speed, it's about momentum. You need a circle of influence for you to access opportunities. But in that circle of influence, before you ask for the opportunities, you must give value first. People don't care about what you have done until you care about what they do. Because the more desperate you are, the more you push help away. We've been ordained to kingship and queenship before we were even born. But now, why, when we're alive, we now become slaves to things that we should be dominating?
Welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. Let me reintroduce you to a really powerful man. The last time I had the pleasure of interviewing and introducing Dr. Billy to you, I said, I know you are about to have an experience. And the algorithm certified the content because the episode is flying, Dr. Billy.
That's a very humbling thing to hear.
The algorithm certifies your content. So, Dr. Billy is going to be launching his channel. He did say he's going to launch a really powerful platform that's going to help a lot of people. It's close to launch, and we're going to talk a bit about it and the YouTube channel that is going to launch and what it's all going to be about. So I'm excited for someone because I know every time he talks to me, I feel upgraded. So Doc, upgrade me some more.
Thank you for the time.
Yes.
And thank you to your viewers for really getting our first episode fly. I've had very crazy numbers. And thanks for mathematics never lies. The algorithm says we did a good job, and it's a very humbling experience because I think, quite honestly, we do what we do to serve, to make a difference, to give light to those that feel that they're a little bit in the darkness, to say to them, it is possible. You know, it's possible. You just have to take a deep breath, recalibrate your energy, and keep moving forward. It's not about speed, it's about momentum.
Yeah, because life keeps happening. Life
Absolutely.
never stop doing life.
It never
things,
helps, yeah.
Right? So Doc, you're going to launch a YouTube channel.
Yes.
What's the vision behind it?
Well, in the first episode, I spoke about a platform that I was creating, which is in the making. So we thought when we create a channel, it will become a conduit through which people can then go to the platform. So the YouTube channel is going to be called AFW, stands for African Family Wealth. And so will the platform be called African Family Wealth. And one wonders why African Family Wealth. Well, I've always maintained that wealth creation is not a solo sport. It's a communal sport. But it has to start somewhere. There has to be an architecture that starts somewhere. So I believe that it should start from the family. The family must create its own financial architecture. Then when it becomes powerful, it affects the community powerfully. And so it ripples into the country, the continent, and the diaspora. So that's what we intend to achieve.
So with family, a lot of questions will run through people's minds. First off, some will say, I come from a dysfunctional family. How will that kind of content work for our kind of family? How can we sit together and watch content when we can't sit together and talk to begin with?
Okay, so I think maybe I should explain the 5 pillars
that
are going to anchor the platform. And the first pillar speaks about that. So the first pillar is about mindset and literacy, changing people the way they think and talking about financial literacy. Because we all know the level of financial literacy in this country, in the continent, is so high that if you're to get a guy now and pull him and say, listen, how much did you earn last month? How much did you save? And how much did you spend? They'll never tell you. Because people...
Financial illiteracy.
Yes. And also because in our societies, it is frowned upon to talk about money. Money is seen as a taboo. So we'd rather not talk about it and pretend everything's okay, but while you know things are falling apart. So the first pillar, it's about changing people's mindset around money and teaching them financial literacy. So that's the first pillar.
Okay.
The second pillar is about debt consolidation and debt exit. So you cannot fetch water in a leaky bucket, because no matter how much water you put in there, it's going to leak out. So once you now have a different mindset around money, You understand how money works. You understand your emotional relationship with money and psychological relationship with money. Now let's look at your finances as a family and say, where are you? There'll be a tool where you can put in your details. It will give you a sort of a scale to say you are at level whatever, level whatever. Then we're going to use experts and professionals who will then coach and mentor you of how to move from being a red in the debt up until you go to the green, which means you're getting out of debt. And once you do that, you free cash flow. So first is mindset and literacy. Secondly, debt consolidation, you get out of debt. Thirdly, because now you've got a little bit of money coming in, now you begin to build assets. And those assets can be varied. It can be through property, it can be through shares. And again, we're going to use legitimate platforms like, what is that one, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange one? Easy Equities. Easy Equities, you know, we've got people who are professionals in that who have been in the financial space for a long time. They will come in and mentor. So remember, first one is mindset, literacy. Second one, you get out of debt. Third one, you start building assets. Fourth one is when wealth creation happens. When you truly diversify the tools that you're using to build this wealth. And the last one is where the magic happens. The last one is about protection and legacy.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't protect their assets, therefore it becomes difficult for them to pass them on to the next generation. So these are the 5 pillars that African family wealth will be based on.
So it doesn't matter if someone is a family of one.
Now remember, when you say family again, in Africa, a family can be 19 people, can be one person with their daughter, it can be a woman with 2 kids. We define a family as a unit that stays together, that vision together, and that wants to grow together.
Stays together, visions together, and wants to grow together.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing that it's content that will come and allow families to bridge the generational gap when it comes to conversations about money.
Yeah.
Are you going to teach those lessons and make them relevant to teenagers as much as they are to adults?
Absolutely. And remember, there'll be levels, because all of us experience poverty and wealth creation differently. Poverty does not have the same face. Some people are poor because they don't have access to an ID, because they can't trace their mother who passed away, so they've got no paper of origin. Therefore, they can't shift and do anything because they don't have an ID. Some people's poverty is based on health. They've got the ID, they've got the license, they've got everything, but their health is not good. So that is some other form of poverty. Now, when you get onto the platform, of course, you want to create a profile and you're going to be asked particular questions so that our system can sort of give you a ballpark figure of where you are. And because it's going to be a very ubiquitous system that's also going to be using AI, we know people are going to misrepresent themselves. But data doesn't lie. We're going to ask for things like, where are you employed? How long have you been employed? Do you own a house? Don't you own a house? How many cars do you have? All that data will be able to give you a level of where you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it applies to the consulting journey that I then get on with the consultant.
Yeah. Because remember, all this level, you might find somebody who's on the asset building, because their mindset is, okay, they don't have debt, but they're not building the right class of assets.
Okay.
So you then start working with them and getting coaches to work with them from that level, from asset class up into the wealth creation, up into the protection and succession.
I want to tap into what you mentioned, the first pillar, and I'll zero in on that one because the channel is mindset topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mindset of wealthy people that surprised you, that you enjoyed just hanging around them and you learn from them and that you've observed. What would you say are the top 2, top 3 to you?
A lot of wealthy people spend a lot of their money on personal development.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
That's odd.
Isn't it amazing that those that need it do it the least and those that don't need it do the most? So that's the first thing, they've got a very developmental mindset. And secondly, they don't think in moments, they think in generations.
Oh.
So when I'm saying they don't think in moments, they think in generations, is they suppress instant gratification for as long as they can to secure the future. On the other hand, people that are struggling, they want to go to a nightclub tonight, they want to drink expensive alcohol tonight, they want to go to a concert tonight at the expense of tomorrow. Now, previously in one of the episodes, we spoke about this general statistic. There's not been science, but behaviorally we can see it. Now, when we're talking about Africans, again, it's another qualification about who's an African, it's another story. But the Jewish community, it is said, and this is a general observation, that when 10 rands enters the Jewish community, it circulates 19 times before it leaves. In the African community, when 10 Rand enters, it's minus 900 Rand. So generations ahead of us are already deprived because of our lacking of understanding of how to create sustainable wealth and pass it on to the next generation.
Doc, you got me in trouble last video. I was laughing too much. You're doing it again. All right, so that was two mindsets.
Yeah.
What are two other ones? I'm enjoying this.
So wealthy people, they always understand that you need a circle of influence for you to access opportunities. But in that circle of influence, before you ask for the opportunities, you must give value first. So you must first be a person of value, then you can extract value. Most people want to extract value without giving value.
So this is going to networking situations
Yeah.
and wanting to take and wanting to receive, to
Yeah.
be taught,
Yeah.
to be given, and never thinking, what value do I have to give to the people I want to teach me?
Exactly. And by the way, this myth around networking is quite funny because people think to network is to go to these parties or this whatever and give people business cards and tell them you've climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and killed 12 lions. People don't care about what you have done until you care about what they do. So the best way to network is to get into a room and every person that you meet, be interested in what they do. Because if you seek first to understand before you are understood, already you are increasing your value immediately. Because this person says, oh my God, I don't know this guy, but he has interest in me, in what I do. Because the nature of human beings is we like to reciprocate. You know, if somebody, the power of influence, there's a study on influence that they did. They say when there's four of you that go out for lunch in a restaurant, and the waiter comes back with the bill, and inside that bill thing, there's 4 sweets, you're going to tip her 10%. But if she walks away, she turns back and she brings 4 extra sweets, the tip increases by 20% because you want to reciprocate her behavior towards you. That's the nature of human beings. We want to do good to those who do good to us.
There was an experiment like that.
Yeah. You can actually check it on YouTube, yeah. The power of persuasion, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, so give us an example. What's one thing you've done to get value from networking and get value from people you wanted to work with?
It's to serve. It's to serve them. I send them an email that says, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm from this country. By the way, I've done a lot of out-of-country serving.
Yeah.
I'm so-and-so, these are my experiences and these are my gifts. I've read about your organization. I've seen what you do. This is how I can add value. Would you allow me to come and spend 2 weeks with you and you can tell me where my skill and my gift you believe could add value?
So even when you didn't know what value you would add, you just say, I'm coming, I want to serve you.
Well, that's why research is critical.
Yeah.
You know, I keep saying to people, you must have clarity of who you want in your life and who you want to connect with and research those people. So that, again, seek first to understand before you are understood. You can't go blindly in an environment that you have not checked. You know, I cannot say, I want to come and serve you, and you guys are stockbrokers. I know nothing about stockbroking. You know, I mean, I'll serve based on my gifts and my talent and my interest. And I'll work for organizations which I share a path with because I want to learn from them and make my path easier as I go forward.
Let's talk about the second mindset you talked about, thinking long term and not
in moments.
Yeah. And not thinking in moments.
Mm.
The big handicap I see with that is sometimes because the poverty and the struggle is so real, we are so close to the reality of not having a meal to eat, it feels like it's hard to do life in a different way.
You know, we're all a typical South African story. I've been there. I've been in a place where I would go to school, it's winter, I didn't have shoes. I've been in a place where I left at my place, there was no bread, and I come back in a break knowing that there will be no bread. But I'll still go home because we grow up with hope that things will change. So, and we don't measure the ultimate end of our lives with the current circumstances that we're facing. You know what I'm trying to say? And I like to, I study the Japanese nation quite a lot. And when they were devastated in Nagasaki and Hiroshima in 1947, it was complete madness. It was terrible. But the Japanese came up with a very powerful concept. That concept is called Kibo no Michi. It means a path of hope, or a path to hope. Every one of us have to create their own Kibo no Michi. Once you have created it, something fundamentally changes in your neurological pathways, and suddenly the message you're sending to the world is completely different than a message of desperation. Because the more desperate you are, the more you push help away. But the more that you understand that I need to begin to create a fertile ground for me to send the right kind of message to the universe, and the universe will always respond. So you've got to create that ecosystem for yourself. And I'm not being flippant here, and I'm not being very philosophical. I've gone through things that people are going through now. I've been in business. I've been doing this business for 27 years. There were times when month end comes, ZT24, company X owes me so much. I must pay school fees month end. I must do this. I must pay my car. And what do? I've got two choices: sit in a corner, wallow, and say the world is unfair. Oh, why is it happening to me? One up and one bun. Or I become intentional about it. And I talk to my God and I say, you have never left me nor forsaken me. You know my needs. I'll still serve during this pain. 100% of the time, one day, before everything has to happen, something happens. That's how the world operates. The energy and the vibration we send into the world comes back to us 10 times stronger or 10 times weaker.
I asked you a question before about your boldness.
Yeah.
And you going global and being one of the first actually black speakers in South Africa that went global as you have become. And I was saying, where does your boldness come from? Because I know when we look at you, we see the boldness. We see you walking into a room and owning the room, and we think, when I grow up, when I grow up. Where do you think it comes from? Because I see a lot of times people they don't give themselves an internal permission to be that. They don't believe.
I believe in the power of intention and intentionality. But also, I say to people, there are two things that you need to deal with very early on in your life. And these things are associations. The first one is association with people. You can meet a guy who's a CEO, you're not a CEO, doesn't make him a better human being than you. He's just doing something that you have not done at that particular time.
Okay.
So understand the sense of humanity. So when you meet him or her at a human level, not at a positional level. Because tables do turn, my brother. Tables do turn. You're a CEO today, tomorrow you're no longer CEO. What does it make you? Still human, you're still a mother, you're still a father.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is the association with things. Now, a friend of mine the other day, we were sitting and just having a drink and talking. He was telling me stories. He says, Brabili, we used to see you in Tembisa. We used to say, hey, the Rodmanle. I bought my first boat in Satellite Tembisa. And this guy says, but why? Why did you do that? Yet I was giving the young men in Tembisa permission to dream. And for them to see the power of possibility. That boat, it did not have a surname of some other people different than me and you.
Yeah.
It's how much do you want it and what you're willing to do to work hard for it. It's association with things. I used to go to clothing shops where they sell amazing clothes. Because they don't have a bank account. They don't have your bank account. They don't know how much money you have.
Yeah.
They're not going to say no if you say, can I fit this suit? They're not going to say no. But most people will not go in because they discount themselves before they even go there. So their association with things is an issue. So once you learn, even if you go biblical, Bible in Genesis 1:26, God says, let's make man in our image and likeness and give him dominion. So we've been given dominion from the beginning. And I understood that from that perspective. And by the way, dominion does not operate as a singular word. It's part of kingdom. Dominion comes from the word kingdom. So you cannot have dominion unless you're a king or a queen. So we've been ordained to kingship and queenship before we were even born. But now why, when we're alive, we now become slaves to things that we should be dominating?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think as we cap off, because you have a speaking engagement.
Oh, yes, yeah. I'm going to be speaking to my people.
So this has been a nice teaser to
Yes,
what you can expect, because there's a whole lot of content that's going to be on his channel.
Yeah.
Just teaching us on this journey. There's one thing that you said as well in our previous chats. You said you lost about 42 kilos. You mentioned in the last episode
Yeah, and today I was
But-
called out in public. Yeah.
That you lost 42. We
42
see
kids, yeah.
you shrink right in front of us. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is when you were speaking, you said you were speaking sometimes in Nigeria and they gave you a nickname,
Yeah.
Big Bill.
Big Bill, yeah. So in Nigeria, I was Big Bill. I was like, you know,
Big man.
I was a big man. I said, big man, Big Bill. And in newspapers, on television channels, Big Bill. It was quite fascinating.
My question was, why did that not take you out? Why did that not offend you?
Because they were talking about a circumstance, but not a human being.
You are upgrading.
My circumstance at that time was obesity. But that did not mean it's a label that I will carry with me for the rest of my life, because I knew the transition had already began in my mind. So it didn't offend me at all.
You remember, I was asking you because I was saying it's easy to laugh at it now in hindsight,
Yeah.
but then were you as free as you are to listen and hear?
Go and trace all my videos. You'll see. I was always as free as I am now.
It's not easy to take you out.
No, you can't take me out. You can't. You can't take me out.
So the opinions of people, because you will be on social media and on YouTube
Yeah.
and stuff, you don't worry about trolls.
A lion never worries about the opinion of a sheep. Why should a lion be worried? Ngemvu? So that's it. So remember, either way people talk. When I was growing up in Tembisa, I realized that for me to move, I needed to learn English. And some friends of mine were mocking me behind my back, calling me Englishman. It didn't bother me at all, because I had a vision of where I wanted to go, and I knew I needed to gain certain skills for me to get there. And the fascinating thing is, I don't like this comparing people, whatever, but I can promise you, the guys that used to laugh at me behind my back are the ones that claim that I'm their big friends. He's our guy. We knew he was going to make it.
You say the wheels turn.
They will stand. And I say to people, as you climb the ladder, be very cognizant to the fact that you'll be climbing on top of the hands of others and on top of the shoulders of others. As you do that, let your left hand also go down so that you can lift others as you rise. Because when you fall down, those that you help rise, they will protect you. But if you don't treat people badly, they will open for you so that you fall quicker.
If you've been treating people badly,
Yeah.
they open a hole.
Then you go, then you can't come out.
This has been good. This has been good. So this is like a teaser. So
Yeah.
do me a favor. Let me know what you love to hear him teach.
Yeah.
He's going to ask your questions. He's going to create a lot of content to respond to your questions. We will shoot a couple of things as well to make sure he comes and upgrades us. We're excited to be on this journey. He's teaching a lot of public speakers to be amazing speakers on stage and build brands around the speaking journey. And he's also helping people write books. Doc, you're helping people do a lot of things.
Yeah. Because a lot of people help me do a lot of things. So Zig Ziglar was an amazing guy. He said, if you help as many people get what they want, you will get what you want.
Let's say amen. Amen.